Hey everyone, welcome to week 2 of our Cashier webinar series. This week we're going to be doing a deep dive in upselling after checkout with Bold Cashier. I can't wait to show you how it works. We're going to walk through a complete setup from beginning to end, show you some examples. But before we do that, here's a couple quick videos that give you a little highlight about what Cashier is and what Bold Upsell is.
Introducing the Bold Product Upsell app for Shopify. Upsells are one of the best ways to increase the size of every order on your store. When a customer adds something to their cart, boom, you hit them an offer they can't refuse, and everyone wins. The Bold Upsell app was the first upsell app on Shopify and is the #1 rated and most loved upsell app ever. It's the easiest way to offer upsells and cross-sells on your Shopify store. Let's dive in. There are 4 key things that make this app unique compared to any other upsell app out there. Cross-sells, upsells, smart upsells, and post-purchase one-click upsells. Let me show you how they all work. First, cross-sells. This is when a customer adds something to the cart and you offer them a complimentary product. If they accept the offer, it gets added to the order along with the original item. Next are upsells. This is when a customer adds something to their cart, you hit them with an offer to upgrade and replace the original item. If they accept it, the original item gets removed and replaced with the upsell product. It's the only app on Shopify you can do a true upsell that upgrades and replaces the original item added to the cart. Oh, and a fun fact, did you know upsells convert 20 times better than cross-sells? The customer is already committed to buying the item, so upgrading is a much easier sell. The next type of offers are one-click upsells after checkout, and they're the highest converting type of upsell. After a customer completes the checkout, they're presented with one last chance to get a special offer. There's a big countdown timer creating urgency, and they have to act fast. If they miss the window, the order generates without it. But if they want it, it's just a click. No need to enter their credit card or address again. It gets added to the existing order. And finally, smart upsells. Using a free integration with the Bold Brain, you can put your upsells on autopilot. The Bold Brain collects hundreds of points of data on your store, such as orders, views, trends, and then creates smart upsells based off that data. This will save you time and make you more money. Simply log into the Bold Brain, view all the offers, accept the ones you like, and you're done. We've already seen some stores increase the conversion of their offers from 11 to 15%, and some stores all the way up to 70%. It's amazing what smart data will do. One of the coolest things about Bold's Upsell app is that you can use all these features at the same time. Imagine this. Your customer adds something to the cart. You upsell them on the bigger item. Then, when they click checkout, you cross-sell them on a complimentary item. After they complete the checkout, you hit them with a last-second one-click upsell offer. Now you're seriously increasing average order value. The app is also packed with other powerful tools to help you and your store. Our analytics and reporting dashboards give you all the info you need. What's converting the best? What triggers are working? What aren't? The best products, trends, and more. And of course, you can edit everything about the way the upsell window looks and feels to exactly match your branding. You can change the language, default texts, and inject any custom CSS you like. Merchants are raving about it, and most see revenue increase within days of installing it. The app comes with a free trial and is backed by the world's friendliest support team, just waiting to help you get set up. So go ahead and try it free today.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you for watching those short clips. So this is part of a 9-week webinar series we're doing all about Cashier, all about the functionality and the benefits it helps Shopify merchants with. If you missed the first week, last week, we did an overview of Cashier, what it is, kind of high level, just covering everything about it. Today we're doing a deep dive in Upsell. So if you missed the first one and you're not totally sure what Cashier is, I would recommend watching that one. Today we're going to assume you have a rough idea of what Cashier is, and then we're going to dive into one specific functionality that we see thousands of our merchants using and really benefiting from, and that's leveraging upselling after checkout. So Upsell is actually, it was our very first app we ever built at Bold. We launched it in 2012, April 2012. And it's evolved a ton since then. When we first launched it, it did very simple upsells. And we always joke because it's 7 years later and we're still developing it today. We're still adding features. We're layering in machine learning and AI with the brain to make smart upsells. Now it's upselling after checkout. We recently launched upsell funnels, which actually I'll show you a little bit today. So the app just kind of keeps getting better. But the highest converting upsell of any upsell is an upsell after checkout. And there's a few reasons for that, which we'll dive into in a little bit. And that's what we're going to cover today. So this is last week, in case you missed it, this is just some of the things we talked about. And these are just a few of the features, or I want to say benefits, that Upsell enables. But what we're talking about today is upselling after checkout. So I'll leave this screen up here just for a second. If any of these words stand out to you as something you're interested in, Upsell might be a solution for you. These are just some of the areas that it helps. But again, today we're diving into upselling after checkout. And just a couple quick kind of, I guess, housekeeping things just to let everyone know. This is being streamed in a lot of places right now. It's on Crowdcast, might be where you signed up. It's on Twitter, it's on YouTube, it's on our Facebook page, it's in our Facebook group. It's all over the place. But wherever you're watching it, feel free to ask any questions, and we'll answer it live on air if it's a question while we're recording. Also, if you're watching on social media, give it a share. If you're on Twitter, on Facebook, give it a thumbs up or a share or a heart or whatever platform it is. We would really appreciate that as well too, just so more people can get a chance to see it. I mentioned answer questions wherever you are. Don't feel that you have to be on Crowdcast where the main stream is going. If you're on social media, ask a question there. And I've got a feed coming in here and we'll answer it live. And even if you're watching after this is over, you can still ask a question and we'll just answer in the comments. We just might not be able to answer it live. So if you're watching this days later, go ahead, ask anything, and we will make sure your question gets answered. Two important links I wanted to point out just before we start. If at any point during this webinar you're interested in taking the next step and getting started, or you want to give it a try, really the two that you need to know, it's our website, boldcommerce.com/upsell or /cashier. That's going to be where you can find out more information on either app, where you can try either of them for free. Actually, Cashier is free. It just has a processing fee of 0.5%, but it's actually free to install. And Upsell, I think it has a 14-day free trial, and so you can try that as well for free too. So if at any point you say, I'm sold, let's do it, I want to add upsells after checkout on my store, that's where you go. And we'll make sure those links are in the comments of any platform where you're watching this as well too. Okay, so a highlight of a couple things I want to cover today, just to give you an idea. We're going to cover what's an upsell versus a cross-sell. We're going to cover what is an upsell funnel, which I mentioned earlier. We're going to cover what is a cross-sell funnel. We're going to cover how does that work after checkout. And then we're going to set it up from beginning to end. I'm going to show you, this is a deep dive, so we're going to actually dive into setting it up, how it works, kind of some of the mechanics and modifications you can make to it to increase your conversion. And that's it. So let's get started. But first, the numbers. I wanted to throw a couple quick numbers up here that these are stats that I think are very relevant to upselling after checkout. The first one is 5 to 20%, and that is the probability of selling an offer to a new prospect. So that's the conversion percentage of a new prospect buying an offer. 60 to 70%, you can probably guess what this is. This is the probability of selling to an existing customer. And that's exactly what upsells after checkout are. You're selling to an existing customer. They just purchased from you. They entered their credit card information. They committed to buying from you. That means they trust you. They are your customer. And that's why upsells after checkout convert so much more. Close to 300% better, like 3 times better than a pre-checkout offer. And that's because of this exact stat. And that's because they trust you, they're your customer. So when you give them an offer and it's just a click and they don't have to enter their credit card again, they're very likely to convert. And then last number, 10 to 30%, that's the percentage of all e-commerce sales that comes from on-site recommendations. For some stores, it's as low as 10. For some stores, it's as high as 30. So think about that number for a second, like 30%. That's almost a third. For a lot of stores, a third of their sales comes from an on-site recommendation. So if you're not doing on-site recommendations of some fashion, like upselling is a really good way to do it. There's others. You can have recommended products in various forms on your site. You can do both. Like, I mean, you can have recommended products, you can have upselled offers, you can have bundles where you're suggesting products buy together. There's a lot of different ways you can do it, but if you're not doing it, you're missing out on a third of potential sales that you could be. So it's pretty significant. We think upsell is a really good way to capture a lot of this percentage. So I would recommend checking it out if you're not currently doing it. So, okay, let's dive in. So the first thing I wanted to cover was upsells versus cross-sells, just to give everyone kind of an idea. The app is called Bold Upsell, but originally when we launched it, it actually only did cross-sells, even though we called it upsell. So an upsell is you add an item to the cart, an offer comes up that's better in some way, and then if you accept it, it replaces the item that was being added to the cart. So in this example, I'm adding a 1 pound bag of coffee. I get offered a 2 pound bag of coffee. If I accept it, it removes the 1 pound and replaces the 2 pound bag of coffee. So it's an upsell. I'm replacing the original item. A cross-sell is I add that same 1 pound bag of coffee to the cart, and I'm offered a product, a complementary product that goes along with that product that I'm adding to the cart. So in this case, I'm adding filters, and if I accept it, it adds those to the cart, and now when I'm going to check out, both of those items are in the cart versus an upsell where it replaces. So just to kind of frame what an upsell versus a cross-sell, Bold Upsell actually does both. I don't know if there's any other upsell apps on Shopify that do both upsells and cross-sells. Most actually do cross-sells. If you search in the App Store and you search the word upsell, you'll see 50 apps that say upsell. But almost all of them actually just do cross-sells. And the reason why is just upsells more what like people refer to it as upsells, even though it's actually a cross-sell. So ours does both. When you're setting up your offer, you can choose, do you want it to replace the original item, add to it, and you can actually do both. You can have upsells and cross-sells mixed into the same funnel, which is pretty slick. So that's what that is. And then there's funnels. So just to kind of give you an idea how they work, a funnel is simply when an offer appears, and depending what the customer does, if they accept it or decline it, you can either then offer them another product or a different product based off what they pick. So if you offered that, in that last example, a 2 pound bag of coffee, you might say, okay, well, if they say no, well, how about this 1 pound bag of coffee, maybe? I don't know. So it's like depending on what they say. And if they say yes, then you can say, great, how about these cappuccino mugs? Or how about this, something else to go along with it too. So this is actually what a flow might look like. So if someone was buying this espresso machine, you might cross-sell them. This would be in a funnel, this grinder, because that goes along with it. If they say no, then you might say, okay, how about this basic grinder? And if they say yes, then when they go to checkout, they have the espresso machine and the basic grinder. But another scenario of that exact same funnel could look like this. They're buying that espresso machine, they cross-sell them the grinder, they say yes, and then you say, okay, great, how about also some espresso beans? They say yes, great, how about some espresso cups? They say yes, and then in the checkout, you're left with this. So now you've got actually 4 items in the checkout from that one initial offer. And then lastly, a third way it can go is this is a cross-sell. So notice that that initial click there is a cross-sell. This can also be an upsell. So in this scenario, I'm buying a basic espresso machine, and I'm going to upsell them to a premium espresso machine. So for only $50 more, and you always have the choice when you're creating an upsell to show the price of the upgrade or just the difference. And we actually noticed that when you show just the difference, they convert much better. So instead of saying upgrade to this for $399, it's only $50 more, because then that kind of just, it frames it in terms of, yeah, it's just $50. Why not? So if they say yes, then you can still put them in that same funnel, and you then can cross-sell them the beans. And so this is how I was saying earlier, you can do an upsell and a cross-sell, and it's the only app on Shopify that does that. And the stores that are using this are just killing it. It takes a little bit of time to set up a funnel, not much, like 5 minutes, but the benefit is huge when you can upgrade and cross-sell all in one flow. And you're gonna see that right away when I do it on the front end of a store. So then in this funnel, they can say yes, and then again, you offer them those same cappuccino cups. Now this time, when they get to the checkout, that original espresso machine is not in the checkout, it's upgraded, and the 2 cross-sell items are. So you did an upsell, 2 cross-sells, all in the checkout, all together. It's pretty slick when you actually see it in action. In the back end, I'm gonna go through it, but this is just kind of how it looks. You set up your trigger, and then you just set up multiple funnel offers all the way through, if they decline, if they accept, and it just keeps going. Okay, so then upselling after checkout, which is why we're here today. Upsell after checkout basically takes everything that happens before the checkout, the cross-sells, the funnels, and it just puts it after checkout. And so it's just another place. Like when you create an upsell, you can trigger it on the add to cart button, you can trigger it on the checkout click. The after checkout is triggered on the thank you page, basically an order's completed, and on the thank you page, the offer comes up and says, hey, it actually's got a timer, 3 minutes to get this special offer. And it can be a funnel, it can be a cross-sell, and you can give discounts and all kinds of stuff as well too. And here's why I love them so much. I mean, I talked about it a little bit already, but why are they so awesome? Well, we are seeing close to 300% better conversion on after checkout offers, which is crazy. Our average conversion of a pre-checkout offer, and it varies quite a bit depending on how you set it up, and we can do another deep dive on pre-checkout offers, but it's 9 to 11% would be a good store. Post-checkout offers is 30% is I want to say like normal. Like that's not hard to achieve. We're seeing some stores seeing 60, 70%. We actually have some stores doing, I think it actually says on the next slide, we actually have some stores doing over 100% conversion, and I'll explain how they do that. With a funnel, you can have one product added to the cart, and because you have multiple items in the funnel, you can you're technically converting more than 100%. So if they bought one product every time, 1-to-1, it's 100. If they bought 2 every time, it's 200. And we've got stores doing over 100% conversion on post-checkout upsells, which is crazy. So those are just kind of some of the benefits of it. Okay, let's see it in action. I've got a demo store set up here. Let me jump into it. So, and actually, if any of you want to play around with this demo store, if you go to our app listing page and click on demo store, I think is the link. This is just our live demo store, and that's the one I'm actually going to use today. So, let me just show you a basic upsell to start. I'm going to make sure my card is clear. Perfect. So a basic upsell might look like this. I'm adding this 1 pound bag of coffee to my cart. Oh shoot, I think I might have it turned off. Hang on, let me do the cross-sell one here. And I got to clear this out. Okay, here we go. Okay, So this is going to be a basic upsell with a cross sell in a funnel. So I'm going to add this to the cart, and now my upsell offer comes up, and this is going to be a cross sell. So if I want to add this grinder, depending what I do here, it's going to give me a different path that goes down. So let's go ahead and add it. So add this to the cart. Now I'm in the funnel, and this is kind of what you saw earlier on those slides. I got the beans, add that to the cart as well too. I've got my espresso cups. Let's add those to the cart as well too. Now if I go and I look at the cart, I've got all 4 items in the cart. I'm going to actually go through a checkout here. So let's click checkout, and I think I have another offer on checkout here as well too. So you can see 2 things when I'm doing this. One, you can kind of see, well, the power of an upsell, but you can also see how it potentially could disrupt the shopping flow a little bit. If I was adding to that cart, yeah, if I really want all these items, that's awesome. And upsells before checkout do convert. They convert, and yes, you lose maybe a very small percentage, but what we've noticed is the percentage that you gain of extra average order value is drastically more than any percentage that you lose from that offer coming up. But it is a extra click to get to the checkout. There's no arguing that, which is why another reason why the upsells after checkout are so great. But let's go ahead and add this. And now we're going into the checkout. Now this is Cashier. This is a demo store that I haven't styled it at all. This is just default styling. I haven't put in a logo or head or anything, but you can completely customize this any way you want. You can customize the URL to brand it your own. I went through this a lot in the last webinar. If you guys want to watch that, I showed a bunch of examples of how stores have all different custom URLs in the checkout, completely different branded and feel. Like if you go to Pure Vita versus Staples versus Ember, they all look very different. They're all using Cashier, but look very different. Anyways, this is a demo. Let's go ahead and put this order through. I have a demo account that I'm logged in as, and because I'm a customer in the store, one of the things Cashier does is it does stored accounts, so customers can save a credit card. I'm going to just use one of my existing credit cards here, place the order, and now the order is in. It's done. If I walk away right now, this order is generated, but I have a last second offer here to add some coffee flavor caramel syrup for 50% off. So again, if there's 4 minutes, and this is adjustable as well too. If I just walked away, this is a common question. The order is done, and it will generate. You can't possibly disrupt the order at this point, but this is where the offer comes in. So sure, let's add some syrup for $2.48, and it's one click here, and it's added because I don't need to enter the credit card information again. I don't need to enter shipping information again. Everything's already in the order. It's just a click and it's done. So now you can see that syrup over here just got added. Christmas coffee mug for $5. Sure, let's add that as well too. Now you can see that'll add in. And then I've got this funnel with 3 things. So my coffee bean ice tray, let's go ahead and add that as well too. One click. So now this order's done. Now because I only had 3 offers in there, it actually generated. If I didn't do anything, it would wait until the end of the timer, and it would generate at that point. So you can see from my one product that I was originally selling, I ended up with 7, 8 items in the cart. That's just the beauty of an upsell. Okay, I'm going to show you how to set that up in the back end. I want to just show a couple small things on the front end here. One thing this is kind of like a bonus. This is related to Cashier, but it's sort of with upsell that I think is call this a bonus secret of the webinar. We are seeing more and more stores really understand how to use product options and upsell together in a really cool way. So I just set up an example of this here. So our options app is a way to add sophisticated options to your store. You can add things like uploading images, custom labels, color swatches, everything. But one of the cool things you can do is you can make an option link to a product. So when you select the option, it actually in the back end adds the product. So imagine this product here. We're looking at this 2-pound bag of coffee. I can add this to the cart, or here it says add bold coffee toppings. I just made that up. These aren't really bold coffee toppings, but let's say they were. So if I say, yes, let's add the coffee toppings, it's an extra $5.59. In the back end, that's actually going to add it to the checkout. So let me show you what that looks like. So now let's go ahead and add this to the cart. I, of course, have a upsell on this product. I'd be silly not to. And so now this is a product in Upsell that has some customization on it, which is again, it's actually one of the only ways to sell customized products in an Upsell, because we have an Upsell app and we have an options app, and they work together. And that's just something we really focus on at Bold, is really making our apps, our suite of products work together. So if we click customize this, I can enter my custom name on the mug, I can pick tall, short, I can upload a custom file. But what I want to highlight is there's an option here that says add matching black coasters. So I'm going to say yes. Again, that'll adjust my price by a little bit. I'll just say custom name J, and I won't worry about the rest of the stuff. Let's add that to the cart. Oh, I'm in a funnel. Sure, why not? Let's add that one too. Okay, so let's go to the cart. Now, in the cart, I only see my 2-pound bag, this other little mug that I just added, and the black mug. But remember, we had the bold coffee seasoning, what was it called? Coffee toppings. And we had the coasters, right? But they were an option. So they actually don't show in the cart. They feel like an option. But when you go to checkout, I'll just say no thanks on this one. You'll see that they're actually in the checkout. So the black coasters and the coffee toppings are products linked to an option. So it's really an upsell. And that's what I'm trying to get across, is using options in a strategic way. It doesn't even feel like you're being upsold, but I just upsold this topping and these coasters, and your customer didn't even really feel it. So you can add options anywhere, and so it doesn't have a ton to do with Cashier, but I just wanted to highlight that because you know what, with the holiday season coming up, people looking for ways to create packages and sell things for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. It's a really cool tool that works really well with Upsell. Okay, now let's dive into the back end, and I want to show you how to set this up. So I've got a demo store here. Actually, I'm just going to check if some questions are coming in. I'm going to just try to address them as they come in. Someone's asking, can this be used with recurring orders? If so, do you have any examples on how that would work? That's a really good question. So we have a Bold subscriptions app. Upsells after checkout work 100% perfectly with Bold subscriptions. If you want to offer subscriptions and then have a upsell after the checkout, it works seamlessly. You do have to use Cashier. That's actually one of the big things we're trying to get across in this webinar series. Like the new checkout for Bold subscriptions is becoming Cashier. It has, if anyone's watching that has Bold subscriptions, you know it has a kind of a checkout built in. Cashier is a much more advanced checkout for a number of reasons, like all of this functionality, the custom URLs, the customization, just everything about it. So as long as you're using subscriptions with Cashier, which a lot of our stores are now, and more are migrating over to it. If you want to migrate, if you're using Bold subscriptions and you need to migrate to checkout, it's a seamless. We can help you with it. It's seamless. But as soon as you're doing that, then yes, you can have upsells after checkout on your subscriptions. If that's what the question means. If you mean just having upsells on subscriptions, yes, that works. Is what your question means, is upselling a subscription. But that is something we have on the roadmap. So that would be someone buys a product as a one-time product, and then the upsell is, would you like to subscribe to that product in there? That's coming. So that doesn't work, but any upsell on a subscription does work. So, okay. Let's go ahead and create an offer. I'm in my Bold Upsell app. I don't want to skip too far ahead here, but basically, if you don't have the app, go ahead and install it. It's free to try. Once you have it, once you log in, it's very quick and easy to use. If you have a Bold Brain, which is free, so definitely install Bold Brain. It automates your upsells. It uses some machine learning, AI, whatever you want to call it. It's smart. And it basically looks at all the data of your store, order history, what's bought with what, and it suggests smart upsells that actually convert higher than ones you can create because it's pure data, what people are buying together. So, but for this one, we're gonna just manually create one. So we're gonna just go into our offers section. I'm gonna click on current offers. This store has a bunch of offers. I'm just gonna turn off the demo one that I was just using, which is my after checkout offer here. So let's go ahead and flip that one off and click create new offer. So there's really only like 3 things you have to do to create an offer. You give it a title. I'm just going to call this my upsell after checkout. This title is an internal name just for you to know what it is, because you can have like Black Friday special, Cyber Monday special, Christmas special. There's a lot of like we find that people rotate through their upsell offers all the time, and then they promote it on their homepage. It'll say something like, with every purchase, get 50% off something, offer available after checkout. So like with a little bit of creative marketing mind, you can see how you can kind of push people through that checkout. So anyways, this is an internal name, so you can help organize all your offers. And then you're gonna set a trigger. So like I mentioned before, there's 3 places you can trigger the offer: on the add to cart click, before checkout, which is right when they are in the cart and they click checkout, or after checkout. And that's the one we're gonna show today. And if you just installed Upsell and Cashier, your Upsell app might look like this. If I go to create new offer, this is a different app now. You might see this, upgrade required. If you don't have Cashier, you need to install it. And if you do have Cashier and you have Upsell and you still see this upgrade required, that means you haven't enabled the Upsell plugin. So super simple. You just go to your Upsell app, you just go to Cashier, and Cashier has a marketplace where our apps and a bunch of other apps integrate with, and you just need to turn on the Upsell integration in there. It's just a click. So we go here, marketplace, and then I would go Upsell, and I would just go enable, and that basically connects Upsell with Cashier, and it's done. Now if I go back to Upsell, I should have that, and then you'd be able to create your Upsell offer. It would look like, well, essentially like this. It would be on. So let's go ahead and create this one. You need to select a trigger. A trigger can be a product, a date range, or a price, or a combination of all 3. So if you guys can see this here, you can restrict it to certain products. So like if I want this upsell offer to only be if they spend $100 or more, because maybe you're giving a discount. Maybe you're going to get 50% off something. This is a holiday promotion. This would actually be an awesome promotion to run. Spend $100 or more and get $50 off X. So if there's something on your store, but it's after the checkout, so the customer has to place an order to get that 50% off. And then you can have it, so down here, you would have your trigger just set to cart value, or a combination of both, right? So you can say, let's just say you sell cameras, and your offer can be buy any camera and get get a case, a matching case for 50% off. So that would be a scenario, any camera over $100. So that would be a scenario where then you would use a filter of products. And when you're selecting products, you can use filters. So I can select by collection, by vendor. I don't have cameras in here. For some reason I have Canon, but like it would be select by product type. I might actually have, well, you could have product type be camera, collection be camera, anything. It could even be brand. Buy any Sony product over $100 and get a Sony backpack for half price, but only after checkout. So there's a lot of different ways you can set up your triggers. I would say actually that setting up the triggers is the easy part. Where most stores fall down is promoting it. They have a great offer, but it's like a surprise after checkout, and that's cool. That converts, and you'll sell them, and it's awesome because you know 10 to 30% of e-commerce sales comes from offers. But if you promote that offer prior to checkout, you'll convert even more. So, okay, let's go through it. Okay, so the thing I wanted to point out in this little sentence here was that if you don't choose a product, the offer will show all the time, no matter what. But if I wanted this offer to only show when, let's just say, a specific product showed, like let's go ahead and, just showed, give me 1 second here. Let's add this one here. So it would, now this offer will only show if this item is being checked out with. So I'm going to leave that blank just so it shows with anything. And now I'm going to create my offer. So to create an offer, you just give it a title, a short description. I actually have some copy written up here. Let's just copy and paste this in. So the title is kind of the head section. The copy is your call to action. So I'm just saying last chance offer. Oops. Thank you for your purchase. Here's an exclusive offer for you. And what do I want to offer? So this is going to be, actually I'm going to set up the kind of the same one we just saw. So I'm going to set up the syrup, which is probably on page 3 of my search results. There it is. So I'm going to offer syrup. And now you can choose if you want the customer to be allowed to add more than one, or if you want to offer a discount. And something I want to say about the discount here is this, because it works with Cashier, one of the strengths of Cashier is it does not require any duplicating of products, duplicating of variants. It just works. It doesn't use draft orders. It doesn't use any fancy workarounds to change the price. Because our apps can talk with it. So for example, if you're using Bold Customer Pricing, which is a great tool for doing VIP or wholesale pricing, actually you can have unlimited wholesale price levels with customer pricing and Cashier, and it just changes the prices. So with Upsell, same thing. I can say I want to offer a 25% discount, and it's just going to discount that in the offer. It doesn't have to create any extra products. If you have no clue what I'm talking about right now, you just haven't felt the pain of having multiple variants on your store in the past. And if you have had that, you're probably very excited to know you don't have to have duplicate hidden products for these offers. It's just historically that's been the only way to do it, but Cashier kind of helps alleviate that. So I'm going to give a 25% discount on this. Now here's where we'd create a funnel. I could save this offer and it's done. It's that easy. I just created an upsell offer that if the customer checks out, they're going to get this syrup offer. But I'm going to add a funnel. If this offer is accepted, creating a funnel is literally as simple as creating 3 offers within the flow. So I'm going to give it a little title, coffee bean ice tray 2, of course. Let's add that. I imagine if you had coffee bean ice tray, you'd want to have like brown food coloring in your water. I don't know. It would just seem weird otherwise. So let's add that. Coffee bean ice tray is probably on page 2. You can search as well too. I guess I could have done that. Here's my coffee bean ice tray. And then I'm going to set up an offer. So on that original offer, I can say if it's declined or if it's accepted. Actually, let's just go ahead and just add a declined one. If it's declined, offer the Christmas mug, which doesn't really make sense when you're saying, want to buy the syrup, how about this Christmas mug? Just for this example though, but what you'd want to do is whenever you're offering a decline, which is called a downsell, if they say no, you offer something a little less that they might accept. So, you know, if it was $20 syrup, okay, how about this $8 syrup? So that would just be, but for this example, I'm going to offer a Christmas mug at 50% off. Okay, how about this mug at 50% off? Select a product. Let's find our Christmas mug here. I think it's on page 2 as well too. It is. Okay, and I'm not going to set up the next one, but you can set up to 3 offers in a funnel. We limited it at 3, arbitrary number, but we feel that after 3 offers in a row, that's a lot. But keep in mind, you can have an offer on a product. When they add it to the cart, an offer can come up with 3 offers. Then they go to the cart, they click checkout. You can have another funnel there with 3 offers. They go through the checkout. On the thank you page, you can have another funnel there with 3 offers. So technically you could have 9 offers on one product, but within one window or one upsell offer, 3 per offer. So just, I won't bother setting up the last one because I think you probably get the idea. You can set it if they accept it, if they decline. And I'm not going to put a date range. I'm not going to worry about a cart value. Let's go ahead and save this and flip it live. Okay, so it's automatically live right now because it didn't have a start date on it. If I ever want to pause or start an upsell, it's literally as easy as this. So if you have an offer for Black Friday and you want to put all your offers live, just flip them live. When you're done, just turn them off. Or actually, even better, just set the timer to start and stop automatically, and then you don't have to worry about that. Let's go ahead and look at what this looks like on the front of our store here. So I can buy any product. Let's buy this one, add it to cart, and go to checkout. I got a whole bunch of stuff in here. Let me just clear some of this out. Getting upsold like crazy. Okay, let's go checkout. Sure, add my filters and go through checkout. Super fast. Cashier, because I don't have to enter anything, no address information. I actually could do this with one click. So I just selected my address. It's pre-selected on my credit card. One click. It's pretty sweet. Okay, so I just checked out with a click. And so here's my offer that we just created live. So it's giving a 25% discount. If I say yes, it's going to offer the ice bean tray. And if I say no, it's going to offer the Santa mug, I think. So let's say yes, adds it, and then here comes my ice bean tray, add to order, done, and that's simple. It's there. So that's how you do it. The only other thing I want to say is in the app, there are a lot of settings. You can customize it. Like that little widget there that you just saw is completely customizable. You can inject any CSS if you want to really match it. It kind of matches the feel of the thank you page anyway, but like if you want to have your countdown timer at the top big and red and flashing in their face, you can do that. That's all done on the upsell setting page here. This is where you control your default text. You can control your button. Like I don't know if you noticed, but on the thank you page it said no thanks, sad face. That's just, you can edit that in here. You can say no thanks, happy face, or if you're really aggressive, you could say, no, I don't like good deals, because that seems like what every e-commerce store does now. It's called, what's it called? Option shaming, or there's a word for it when you don't accept an offer shaming. So yeah, that's your call. But if you want to offer shame your customers, no thanks, I don't like your deals. Anyways, you can customize it however you want. And then the timer, the maximum you can do is 5 minutes. So, but you can go down to like 30 seconds if you could go down to 1 second theoretically. That's the timer that's counting down at the top. And when that timer is done, the offer just generates. We don't have any data yet on what converts the best, like 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. We'll probably have a blog post out at some point with some interesting data on like, does one product convert the best? Does two? Like, I would assume by default it's set to 3 minutes, and that seems to be pretty good. But go ahead and play with it, see what converts better. And then if you want to enter any custom CSS to style that, you can as well here too. So that's the only other thing. And then the last thing I'll say, because I mentioned it earlier, if you are using Brain and you want to create these offers, like I just went through a manual setup from start to finish. The Bold Brain, I recommend every single person who has Upsell install Brain because it's free. When you have it installed, it actually it pulls the Brain insights into Upsell, and you can create offers right from here. So this is a demo store. The stats are a little skewed, but what it's saying is these items are bought together. Take action. This would create, so here it gives me some data on how many times this syrup is bought with this product. And if I want to create an offer, I can it's recommending a cross-sell. I would click take action. Where do I want to put this cross-sell? Add to cart checkout, save, done. So I can completely rely on the Brain for that as well too. If you're actually in the Brain, I'll jump over to it. It looks a little bit different, but that was just in the Upsell app, and it was pulling, we call them Brain Insights. We were pulling the insights into Upsell. In Brain, it actually does a whole ton more. It recommends insights for bundles, for subscriptions. It's starting to do a lot with personalization. So in here, you can see like this is recommending a bundle. So if you have the Bold Bundles app, it would again be a click where you would take action and create a bundle. So if customers buy these two products together, offer 20% off, and that creates that little bundle widget that sits under your product where you can add the one or add both. And what's sweet about it, we'll do a webinar at some time, but it's one click and it adds both products to the cart, and it automatically applies the discount as well too. So in any case, Brain is free, and the stores that are using it are getting way higher conversion than the stores that aren't. So definitely install the Brain if you're using Bold Upsell. I think that's basically what I wanted to cover in this deep dive with Upsell. If you guys have questions, there's been some coming in. I think I addressed, and some of them have been addressed already. If you have questions, post them in wherever you're watching this. Even if it's after, we'll do our best to answer them. Again, the two places to go. If you have questions, you can email solutions@boldcommerce.com. That's not a support email. If you have questions on support, it's support@boldcommerce. Solutions is if you're not using either Upsell and you want to learn more. It's basically like our account management team, and they can help answer questions of if it's a good fit for your store. You can tell them what you're trying to do, and they'll help you with that. And then the two links to go to is just /Upsell and Cashier, and you're good to go. Thank you so much for watching. Next week, we are doing a deep dive. I think it's on multi-currency. And so multi-currency is one of the huge benefits of Cashier. Cashier allows you to bill in 153 different currencies, do things with rate padding, set your own currency rates, use real-time currency rates, use geolocation to automatically detect where your customers are and just show the right currency. You don't even need the currency picker. It's pretty cool. We're going to do a deep dive on that. We're going to set up currencies. We're going to show you how that works. So make sure you hopefully tune in next week. And if you missed last week and you just want to get an overview of Cashier, check that out as well too. Post any questions in the comments and we'll make sure we answer them. Thank you so much for watching.